So the first part of my presentation now is how do you actually get started? First thing I want you to do, grab a pen and paper if you haven't done this yet, if you're not taking notes, and write down your profit target for the next 90 days. Now, when I first did this with one of my high-end coaching groups, it completely stumped them. They had all these goals of making millions of dollars online and millions of dollars from local business, but they had no idea how they were going to get there. They hadn't sort of come up with some kind of profit target and worked their way back to actually make it a reality. And I guarantee you that if you don't do this, if you don't work out where you're trying to go, you won't get there. So we're going to come back to this number later, but it's important. Just put it aside for the moment. Next thing I want to talk about is, starting with the end in mind. That's been a bit of a theme this weekend. A couple of people have mentioned that to one of James's truisms. So the first thing when you're setting up your business and getting started, I think, is just think of your exit strategy. What are you trying to do with this? If you're just trying to make a few $1,000s until your affiliate sites take off, I really think you're sabotaging yourself, and I think that kind of a mindset sets you up for failure, because your mindset's still in the affiliate thing or whatever else you're doing, and you don't really ever focus on the local business stuff. And because your goals are so low, a few $1,000s a month, you don't really stretch your mind, and you aim too low, and when you aim low, you get low results. So thinking about your exit strategy, what does the business actually look like? What are you creating? Who are your clients going to be? What kind of products and services are you going to offer? How are you going to get them delivered? Do you know who's going to outsource? Do you know where you're going to outsource it to? Have you got systems and processes in place so that when you do get a client, you can outsource it and aren't trapped doing all the work yourself? Because I've been there, and doing all the work yourself is not the fun way to do it. Next part of the exit strategy is how are you going to transition to more passive income streams? I said right at the start, the model I teach is to use consulting to fund other things, to fund assets that make you money without having to take clients. Well, what's your strategy? I'm going to teach you one of my favorite strategies that I've used, that I personally use to now be in a position where I'm not reliant on clients at all, and it's a strategy I've taught my inner circle members for the past year or so, and then having great results as well. So I'm going to teach that right at the end. But just for the moment, put a note down, what's your plan to get more passive income? And what are you going to do with the business? 5 years down the track, maybe 3 years down the track? Are you just going to let it wind up and have all that time wasted? Or are you going to package it up and try and sell it? Because I think probably in the 5-year range, there's going to be a really big opportunity for people to sell out to these big media companies, to big advertising agencies. Once they start to catch on to what we're doing and how we're doing it, the easiest way for them to grow and to acquire this knowledge is going to be to buy companies. It's not going to be to come to Fast Web Formula and learn it themselves. So there's going to be a lot of people out there shopping for businesses, and we're starting to see that already. So I think a big seller is definitely something you should be thinking about. And if that is your goal, if you do want to sell your business, then start thinking about who you're going to sell it to. And if you're really smart, I would probably design my business to appeal to a specific type of buyer. Certain products and services, the way they're created and delivered. I'd really make sure that it wasn't dependent on me and it wasn't reliant on me being the star, but was something that another business would find really attractive, perhaps in a similar niche or a different market that they're in, that would suit their sort of growth strategies. And how much would you be happy with? What's your sellout number? Is it $1 million, $10 million, $100 million? Because those decisions that you make now will drive how you create your business and where it goes. And again, important point, this applies to everything. It applies to whether you're doing affiliate marketing, whether you're doing lead generation stuff, whether you're building directories. There's companies out there, big media companies that are doing the directory model, and they invest a lot of money in it, and they will buy other websites and other companies who are doing this. But you've got to think about how you can, sort of strategically fit into their plan right from the start. Otherwise, everything will be set up wrong. This also affects small decisions you make, like what services you offer, whether you sort of accept PayPal recurring payments, because if you've got a whole bunch of people on PayPal recurring payments, it's really hard to sell that business because they're trapped to that one PayPal account, and it's really hard to transfer. So it might be a better idea to go with the merchant account. Little things like that. So that all kind of ties into thinking bigger. Your value is massive to these guys. I've showed you some examples of how much my students have been able to make for other people. So there's a lot of opportunity here.